And I'm sure that if you are an autism parent, you probably had noticed at some point in the last couple of days, I believe the press release came out on Monday or Tuesday, that Suzanne Wright, who is one half of the Wright team that started Autism Speaks a little over 10 years ago, has unfortunately been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. I just wanted to take a second here on the show to say that, you know, this journey for all of us is so hard, and as Nancy so eloquently put yesterday, it isn't just autism. That while autism is happening, there's so many other things that go on. I remember thinking so clearly that, you know, in my child mind as an adult, that if you have a child with autism, that surely you get a pass on everything else. And of course, that is a child's mind. That is not the case. That frequently people have other things going on. And I, for one, want to give a shout out to the Wright family and send nothing but love and prayers and respect. You know, one of the first times that I saw something about autism after I began to wonder if my child had autism, I saw Suzanne Wright talking on a program, and they were just starting Autism Speaks. It was just brand spanking new. And I think it was on Larry King that she and her husband were talking, but it was Suzanne herself who said, you know, this is so hard on the families. And as a grandparent, it's devastating to watch your child go through a diagnosis of this because there's so many question marks that happen. And she said, and there's so many things that need to be done, and there's so many ways that you need help with someone advocating. And she said, this was in the beginning, 10 years ago, this is what I remember her saying, I see this as part of a grandparents movement, that I want to encourage all grandparents out there to take action, to step up for your grandchildren who may or may not be able to speak for themselves, and to step up for your kids who have these children that may or may not be able to speak because they're exhausted. That's what I remember. And I remember picking up the phone and calling my mom and saying, I had been trying to not talk about it to my mom because I was afraid of what she was going to think and react and how she was going to be. And that gave me a floor of opportunity to say to my mom, I need you to be involved with this, but here are the guidelines. here are the guidelines. You know, I need you not to tell me what to do, because none of us knows what to do. And I've chosen a path to go down for us to try to help our child, but I need you to not question it to me. And I need you to do this. And I really gave her a rule book, but I said, I need you on the team. And it wasn't always easy. And my mother did not always get it right. She didn't. But over the years, as I've watched my mother dealing with what I was going through, I watched Suzanne Wright going through what she was going through, having started a charity. And I've watched over the years people taking issue with so much of what Suzanne Wright has said and so much with what she has done. And there have been people who have said to me, why are you defending her? Why? Because she's somebody who was always trying. And I've always compared her to my mom because the trajectories were, you know, similar timeline. And I've always thought, how would my mother have dealt with, it was hard enough for her when I said to her in private, this is not helpful that you said this. I need you to say this instead. And how would she have known? How would she have known? But that was hard for my mother to hear. It was hard for her to experience. And my mother hung in there because my mom was a great mom and a great grandmom. And Suzanne Wright hung in there. But Suzanne Wright had people saying, don't say this instead. This hurt my feelings. This wasn't the right thing to say on a very public stage. And I will be honest with you, I don't think my mom could have done that. I don't think I could do that. I really don't. So over the years, my respect for Suzanne Wright, for her ability to hang in there and hear, you know, you're not doing it right for me, from so many people, and to hang in there to try to find the way to get it right. I want to be like Suzanne Wright when I grow up.